Hi, Vinny. Uh, Let everybody know how you got started and what you're doing. Let everybody know what you do. Let's hear the rundown.
All right. So I'm Vinny. I'm 21. I currently am doing OnlyFans as a career, basically. It's again long story of how, why, when. But I'm also a professional dancer in Chicago. Um, so one is supplementing the other because dancers don't really get paid.
It is. It's tough. It's tough, and
Unfor-
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of impressed with the fact that you're plowing through and still trying to do a very difficult career because arts in general are undervalued, if nothing else.
I completely agree. Like, something I realized was like mostly like my entire like existence, what I do is like all creative, it's artistic. Like I paint, I love film, I love like editing, I love I'm taking like graphic design courses, I love painting, I already said that. Dancing, all of that stuff, but like as a career, not the most like conventional way to go about things. So why not make things more unconventional, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't blame you. So, okay, that makes sense. So I'll be honest with you. It's no one takes it seriously until you make it, and then once you make it, they
Exactly.
take you very seriously.
Exactly.
It's very ironic. It's very frustrating actually to think what you have to put in to get out, and what's the statistical odds? It's got to be pretty slim, right? Who gets to be? Uh, yeah, Justin Timberlake. Who gets to be?
Yeah, especially with dance, there's no like with like other sports and stuff, like there's like you get to the top and there's like this top, there's like this goal. But with dance and like some most art, like there's not really that like exact type of like point that you can like reach. Like everyone is up to their own thing. Success is like only determined by like money. Like it's very interesting. But yeah, so currently I'm working as a professional dancer. I have like a bunch of credits on my resume, but like I'm still like at this point of like, am I a professional? And I'm like, no, I've danced professionally for like years now. Like I can say that.
It's that imposter syndrome, especially if you make it. It's surreal and you can't believe. Yeah, and not only that, it's I've been doing this for so long. Is this really it? Is this really what I've been trying to do for so long? And there's nothing wrong with it. I'll be honest with you. Take your time. Appreciate the moment. Sometimes I'll be honest with you. That's probably the key to success. Really, is just appreciating the moment.
I completely agree. Like everyone's got their own like definition of success, but like either way, like personally, the way I feel is like as long as you're like able to feel present in the moment and like enjoy that moment, like probably what you're doing is what's gonna be best. Obviously, there's so many other things that I account for that, but like, yeah. Sorry, not to get into my whole life
No,
philosophy.
no, no,
Like,
no. That's fine. That's fine. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, and this is something new to me. You don't pick your passions. Your passions pick you.
I honestly, I think I agree with that.
Well,
I
okay.
like,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, it's like for me, dance has always been something like it's been like this on and off thing for me because like I again, long story, I started to do it when I was like in fifth grade, and then I was like just to be popular because the popular girls did dance competitions, and I was like, I want to do that. And here I am years later still doing it. Not like that, but still like doing the thing. Yeah, but it's like it's something that's like I'll stray away from it and I'll like I have to go back to it. And like with like painting and art, it's always something that I've said like I mean it's like yeah, I it's like I like doing it and I feel like I'm just like naturally like drawn to it, but it's not something I want to like pursue. But it's like your passions don't like you don't get to pick them. And like whenever you pick them, it's like it's more forced than a passion. Like that's just like a
Yes.
forced activity.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was say if it's not true, if I'm wrong, then you can force yourself to do stuff you don't like and turn it into
Exactly.
a passion. It never works that way.
And it's not a passion then. It's just like very intense activity. That's very
Self torture. Self torture.
exactly, yeah.
I think that's why I appreciate anybody that does something outside of the 9 to 5 grind, because it's kind of soul crushing to be stuck in that rut. And you make your paycheck and you pay your bills, and you make the paycheck and you pay the bills, and the weeks roll on the years, and it's a nightmare.
I agree, honestly. Um like because like currently I know a lot of people due to my lifestyle and stuff that are like working 9 to 5s in like corporate and business and finance worlds, but like also the people I used to go to high school with fairly recently, like they're in college getting their like business degrees, nursing degrees, whatever. And it's just like they're just doing it to do it, just to like keep that like conventional idea of like what they're supposed to do and how to be like successful because that's what they think they need to do and they're going to keep doing it and say it's their passion. It's probably not, but they're never going to get the chance to pursue it because they're like stuck in this like system of I do this to do this, then I do this to do this. And it's like, not that it's a bad thing, but it's like sometimes it's good to question it.
Yes. Well, I think there's another element to it too. Is there's the fear of failure, and
Exactly.
if you don't mark your passion and say this is my goal, then you can't fail. I go jump in the corporate. If I go jump in the corporate business, that's someone else's goal. I'm living someone else's goal.
Totally.
Yeah. So this guy's got 300 people living his goal. There's safety and there's comfort in it, and you don't have to worry about tomorrow as much. But is it worth your soul? You know, it feels like it just tears away at you. And I'll be honest with you, when you're young, you have the luxury of failing because you can, number one, you can learn from it. Because I've never not learned from something that set me back. Um, Very seldom do you do the same thing wrong twice. So I'll be honest with you. Take all the chances you can now. Make the adventure. Yeah, it's definitely an adventure too. So let's dive into the supplemental part of this
Absolutely.
endeavor. How did you land on OnlyFans? I mean, obviously everybody knows about it, so it's not like it's not out there.
It's not a secret.
Yeah, it's not a secret or anything. But how do you Okay, the last girl I talked to that was OnlyFans, she was trying to get her horse to Europe. That was the premise. That was the whole premise of how the whole thing started.
Interesting.
She,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's always like some like other reason for doing it, I feel like.
yeah,
And not that that's like a good or a bad thing. It's just like it's not like everyone's main goal. And like not that it should be or shouldn't be, but like for me at least it's like it's not my main goal, but it's something I enjoy doing right now. I have the capacity to do right now, and it's like definitely helping me right now. And if it wasn't helping me, I would not be doing it. But yeah,
makes
so I
sense.
basically so I'm actually originally from Texas. I looked at your Instagram and I saw you like a photo at Enchanted Rock and I was like, I've hiked there so many times growing up. That's so funny. Um, but
I'm
I
not.
came
I'm not from Texas.
you're not.
I'm from Connecticut.
Connecticut. Interesting.
I've got a
Okay.
cousin. I got a cousin in Chicago. Actually, now that we're talking about locations, yeah, my cousin. He had a place on Navy Pier. He was in one of those penthouses on Navy Pier.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah,
Fancy.
yeah, I had a blast with that guy. That was a lot of fun. Um, but that was a long time. That was like 20 years ago. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even know what he's doing now.
You never know. Yeah, but I moved from Texas to Chicago for school
Okay.
for dance.
And
Um,
it's a beautiful city, so why leave?
right.
Yeah.
Um, what was I saying? Sorry. Also ADHD, clearly.
Well, I was trying to dive into the navigation of how you supplemented the dancing with.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Sorry. So I moved to Chicago from Texas for school in 2020. Best time to do it. I graduated high school in 2020. super awesome. But I like had decided I was gonna take the like dance path in life, and so everyone I knew was like going to school for that or for musical theater. I have a twin sister who does that, and now she doesn't either, which is kind of funny. But I went to school for that. After a year, I was like, that's just not for me. But the time that I was in school, about like, I think it was literally like January 2021, I was like, what if I just did OnlyFans? Like, what if I did that? So I had been like kind of like collecting some photos for my like photo album like prior to that when I first moved to Chicago. Like I was literally 18 and I was just kind of trying to be like, ooh, this is like different and not what I'm used to. And like art school, Chicago, a bunch of us are just trying to like do new things, try new things. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna do OnlyFans, I'm gonna get a sugar daddy, I'm gonna do this. And it's like none of them actually did it. And I'm like literally the only one that's probably like actually done the things we said we do. um like whatever that means. But yeah, so I started doing that and then I made my own OnlyFans account. I started posting. I would do like little content days, but I just didn't really quite understand the scope of like how much work I would have to put in on top of being like a dance major, which is a lot more, not more work, but physically more demanding, obviously, than like a normal college degree. So it's like taking like 4 classes every single day, which is
That's a
both
lot. Yeah,
and
that's a
like
full schedule.
ballet every day, like ballet in West African at like 8 a.m. Like it's the most insane stuff ever. Like I was like, I don't have the energy for that, which is okay. So yeah, I started doing that. It just kind of was like a slow little thing. It was like I would make $30 a month and I'd be like, yay, I can like buy some weed. I don't do that
I'm
anymore.
gonna say
But
Chinese food if you're lucky. Yeah. Oh,
literally.
congratulations. Okay, how long did you smoke and how long have you stopped?
Um, it's been honestly like I still do occasionally, but like I used to be one of those like all day, every day.
Okay,
Because that's again, it was like really just like a product of the environment of art school
makes
for even
sense.
a short period of time. And I was like, yeah, no, I love this. No, I didn't. It made me really anxious and eat too much and like just not a good time. It took me too long to realize that, but at least I realized it now. So I don't smoke anymore very much, unless very rarely socially, rarely. Um, yeah, but I basically use the OnlyFans money as weed money. And just saying that's like hilarious. I was like 19 and I was like, I'm by myself in Chicago. I can do what I want. So that's what happened. And then I ended up convincing my parents to let me stay in Chicago for the summer because I got a bunch of other jobs, dance related. And yeah, so then that turned into I got onto Seeking Arrangements, the sugar daddy website. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No, I don't. No, I've never heard of that. Okay, how'd that work
That's,
out for you?
I mean, I'm here right now, so
you're not, you're not dead.
yeah, that too, very much. But I ended up meeting someone from there who a year later just kind of like took me in and like mentored me and like now they help me with my OnlyFans.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
So
Okay.
that's where that goes to. Yeah, it's all very like it's woven in together. It all works out somehow. But yeah, so I started doing like tried being a sugar baby and stuff. Not a good idea. I was 19, like too naive. Like it was a bad time. But then I've like continued to do it because like you live, you learn. Like you got the experience. Why not like keep learning from it? I don't know. That's how I see it. But someone that I met from there who I'd been like seeing consistently for about a year had like let me know that they were like with a talent agency. That talent agency works with OnlyFans. And I was like, did you know that I have an account? Like it's not very active, but like I have an account. Like I've tried and failed. Um, so yeah, now he since like this past August, he's been helping me manage it and stuff. And now I'm where I am. Like my TikTok is like blown up significantly. My OnlyFans is like exponentially like grown. It's like been incredible, honestly. And like having that extra guidance is something that like not many people are like lucky to have in such like a respectful way. Because like I've had offers from other men saying like, I couldn't manage your porn accounts, and I'm like, really? Oh,
And you can tell they're just full of shit. You could just tell.
it's like, I mean, if you just want me to send them to you, like I can do that, but like, don't do all that. But anyway, I ended up getting lucky enough to meet someone who like actually is great with business and like figuring things like that out, and so I got involved with a great like agency. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you got real fortunate on that because it's not easy. It's really not. People think I'm just going to post a couple pictures, hit a button, and everybody's going to love me and everything's going to be fine. And it's just not true.
exactly. Like that's what I did at first, like in the beginning of 2021, and then I was like making $30 a month max. Like that was my best month, was like $35, and I was like, yes. So it was a funny time, but also it was like I was already doing it, so like now I have the opportunity to do it, but better. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep working on it. Like now it's like an actual legit thing that's gonna like help me pursue my other goals in life while also being something that I enjoy doing. So
Not only that, but TikTok sometimes could be more lucrative than the OnlyFans, and you don't even realize when you're trying to cross promote the two, that the other one could do better.
right. Yeah. Like I've had my TikTok for like years since I was in high school, like a junior in high school, I think is when I started my TikTok. It was just a joke, and me and my friends would post, we would do this like stupid little dance trend, and then we would do it in like a bunch of different environments and then try to get as many people as we could to do it just because it was funny. And like some of them would get a lot of views, like, and at the time, like years ago, like TikTok wasn't getting the numbers that it does now. Like it seems like everyone gets a million views or something, like, but at the time like no one was doing that. So we were getting like 5,000 views, and we were like, oh my god, like that's crazy. So I just kind of kept making TikToks. And so I ended up making a bunch about, like, I don't know if you've noticed, I've got weird hands and feet.
No, I didn't. I didn't notice that. That this is the first time that's ever come up. Yeah.
So that's like a fun little thing about me. But I made a bunch of like TikToks joking about it, and those ended up blowing up. And then I started to get like in 2020, like I got my first video that got like a million views and stuff, and I was like, whoa. And so after that, I still only posted like whatever I wanted and stuff, and I ended up with like over like 16,000 followers just on my own, doing whatever I wanted, like not caring about strategy or like anything. I was just kind of like vibing.
That's
And then
awesome.
when I got started with this like agency, they started helping me with strategy. Now I'm up to like almost 80,000 followers. So it's like, whoa.
So that's a passive income right there all by itself. Then.
Right. Yeah. And like that's not something I even think about, but occasionally I'll go on there, see like how much money I have, and I'm like, oh, cool. I did not realize that was a thing.
That's awesome.
But it's pretty great, yeah.
All right. So with all the costumes that I saw on your Instagram there, why is Velma so popular? Why is that just like the go to for everybody?
I'm gonna be so honest. I don't know. That was definitely one of the things my wonderful friends who are a part of this agency told me I should do.
Okay.
So I did. And I was like, I don't understand.
I
Like,
don't get it either. I don't get it.
I'm like, I guess I get it. Like she's like shy and she's nerdy, and then like, oop, there's her tits. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I guess. Yeah, I guess, but it's been a thing for a long time, and I never. It doesn't matter, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
but
to
like
ask. I had to ask because it seems like everybody went down that rabbit hole.
I think everyone does. And I think it's just like the whole like nerdy girl
It is
thing.
the nerdy.
Um,
Yeah, it's gotta
that's
be.
like it's also funny because like I'm a nerd. Like I've been a nerd my whole life. Like I wear glasses, like I'm wearing contacts now, but like I always wear glasses. Like being a nerd is like that's what I've always been. So like cosplaying as that is like really funny because I'm like, this feels more real than like
Then
a cosplay. So yeah, but
so right now, what are you doing? What is your main focus right now? What is the avenue by which you're trying to navigate, or are you just coasting?
Yeah, I mean, so right now, like, I guess my focus with TikTok specifically is to like that demon makeup. You may or may not have seen me post the same video over and over and over and over again.
No.
Um, so one of my like biggest cosplays I do is Meru the Succubus. It's this it's a hentai, just to be straight up. Um, so it's like an anime on Pornhub.
Yeah.
So I did that for Halloween because someone was like, you should do that. And I was like, okay. And I also have some experience doing like makeup and like special effects. So I was like, honestly, like this will just be fun and I'll try it. And then ever since then, I paint my face red a couple times, like a month. Um, so now my main TikTok strategy, I guess, is just marry the succubus.
That is quite a strategy. That's
So yeah, but it's also really fun. I got to go to this erotic art show this past week in Detroit, and I dressed up as the like character, and like it was crazy. I got to meet so many people, got so many like photos, and it was like it's really funny how many people know who I was.
well, it's a niche because as soon as you do that, you're gonna have hardcore followers immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get that either. I'm not gonna lie to you. The cartoon porn, I don't get it.
Everyone's got their thing, I
Yeah,
guess.
everybody's got their thing. I
Like,
never.
like I'm not gonna question it. Like
No, 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 no. But my point is, it just I try to figure it out myself, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm old
the
fashioned, I
human
guess.
brain, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
weird.
People will do the weirdest things, and you're never satisfied. No matter how weird it gets, it can always get a little weirder.
That is so true.
So,
So like,
on
sorry, what
that
were
on that note, how weird can it get? Since you do something that's a little unique, has anything ever stuck out as being, wow, this is. Because you strike me as someone that's game for anything. You're a
that is
go getter and you just do it kind of thing. But then,
like I'm down for whatever. Like I love experimenting, trying new things. If like someone's into it, maybe I'm into it. Who knows? Um, honestly though, like I haven't dealt with like the weirdest things. Like there's definitely some weird stuff out there that I've heard about, but never like experienced. But also OnlyFans does have like a lot of like bans, it turns out, for like some really weird stuff.
what do you mean?
So like you can't do like any like torture, BDSM, anything involving like pee, more than pee.
Yeah, yeah,
Not that I'm
yeah,
into that, but I have been
yeah.
asked
Yeah.
to like keep my pants on camera, and I'm like, I mean, like, yeah, I can do that for like $100, sure.
So I dated this girl that was doing something before OnlyFans. It was like a webcam girl, but she
Yeah,
specialized in feet. And she made really good. I mean, I never asked her exactly how much she made, but she had a brand new car, and she paid for the vast majority of things while we were hanging out. So
wow,
I'm assuming she was making pretty good money at the time, but
probably.
she would come back and she'd be like, "You have no idea. They paid me like for outrageous amount of money to paint my toenails, put on these heels, and step on balloons." And then it was the next day it was this whole other weird, and I'm like, none of this makes sense to me. None of this makes sense to me.
I mean, like, I've literally looked into like the psychology of feet stuff because it's like, what?
I don't.
But also like that's something I'm like, if I could just do feet stuff, like that would be so fun. But also, my feet are weirder than my hands.
Really? Okay. Now you can't say something like that without proving it. Do you have your shoes off right now?
No, but like I'm not showing my feet for free.
Oh, really? Okay, is that a thing? Okay, that's a thing. Okay, fair
That's the
enough.
thing. No, for real. Like I'm like, not gonna show my toes for free, but like my toes are little nubs. They're not like I had a toe amputated this past summer. it was like it's a whole thing. It's a whole part of my life. But like my toes, if anything, look more like this thumb.
Okay. So, Vinny, you got to go back. How did your hands? Were you born with your hands?
Yeah, well, so my I have a twin sister that I mentioned.
Yeah.
So when we were like in the womb together, she ate them.
No shit.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, that can't even be a thing. She has no teeth.
Right? I mean, no, it's a birth defect. It's called amniotic band syndrome. It's
Okay.
kind of rare, but it happened. I do have a twin sister. She
Okay.
has normal features.
Outside of the hands and feet, are you guys the same?
No, we're fraternal, weirdly enough.
Okay. Okay.
We are
So,
similar in personality and vibes, but like
but yeah, you're
she's
not. You
also
don't
in
have the same.
Missouri and I'm in Chicago, so I don't know.
Okay. Shit, that was pretty funny.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is so I go live on TikTok a lot now just because it's like people seem to like that. Um, and so I'm like, all right, give the people what they want. But every time if my hands are anywhere in frame, everyone's like, what happened? Like, are you gonna talk about your fingers? Like, what's wrong with your fingers? And like it's my favorite thing is just coming up with like the craziest shit to tell them. My most recent thing is like I'm like, yeah, no, like I ate them myself. Like, don't do drugs. And I was like, are you serious? And I'm like, no, I'm not serious.
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Right? So,
That's awesome. I'm
fun
not
to
gonna lie. But yeah, Chicago's a nice city. Have you ever been to New York?
once when I was like 16 for a high school theater trip. So
I
I
was
don't
just
think
gonna
that
say
counts.
that's like a epicenter for arts and stuff.
Broadway, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a mega. Yeah.
It's crazy now because of all the things I've done in the past with theater, dance, like now I'm like friends with people on Broadway and I'm just like, hey, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty cool.
yeah, it's cool watching other people I know like grow and progress and stuff. And I'm like, ooh, that's some inspiration. Like I can do that too. Like, yeah.
It's actually amazing what we can do if we just lean forward. When you're doing something and it's not working, and you just lean into it and say, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna put twice as much into it, and we're gonna see what happens because it's an amazing thing how opportunity opens up eventually.
Right. I totally agree. Like something people used to always say to me was like fail forward. Like with dance, with theater, like if you're doing a dance step and you know like you're like off your balance, you're just gonna like follow the flow, just keep doing it. And then you'll know what you did wrong and you'll never do it wrong again. But
That's
like
good
fail
advice.
forward instead of fall forward, fail forward. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because once you've fallen or you're about to fall or you catch yourself, you've learned something.
But catch yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take for the OnlyFans thing to become like second nature? Because I know anything you do, I don't care what it is, whether it be me editing this or talking to people, you put all your effort into doing the most mundane thing. You do it 1,000 times, and all of a sudden, that mundane opportunity becomes like second nature, and there's no thought into it at all. You just go with the flow. How long did it take before it was just an average?
It honestly has taken a while. And like recently I've been trying to like get back on track with like my grind and stuff because like I'm young. I have a hard time focusing on things. And like not having a schedule is like so hard. Like, but like someone told me like having like a routine and structure like sets you free. So I've been like really working on like keeping a schedule, making like content and TikTok like a priority instead of just like doing whatever I want any day. Like, cause like I'm making money and I'm like, oh, I could just like, I have money now. Like I'll just like spend it. And it's like, I can't do that. Like I need to save, like I need to work on like other things, surviving, all that stuff. So yeah, recently it's become a little more like normal for me, but there was a bit where it kind of like I kind of like fell off of the track. But like for a while it's been like pretty consistent, and now that I'm like doing it more and more often, it's just kind of like because I've really been like doing it seriously since like August of this past year. So hasn't been that long, like half a year, I guess. Wait,
A little more than, yeah, like 7, 8 months. But yeah, Vinny, I'm really proud of you, man. All seriousness, finding a schedule, sticking to a schedule, and the maturity it takes to actually follow through. It's like keeping a promise to yourself. It's a very difficult task.
yeah,
There's a lot of maturity involved in that, and I learned something myself in the last couple of years that I find to be extremely helpful. I don't pick up my phone until I accomplish 5 tasks. And no matter how dumb they are, it doesn't matter how dumb they are. It's kind of like I was saying with any task. It's hard at first, but you become efficient at it after you do it for a while. So it could be 5 dumb tasks: make your bed, make your coffee, get dressed, brush your teeth, whatever it be. Do
right.
5 or 6 things, and then I reward myself with being able to look at the phone. You'd be amazed at how hyper efficient you can get at brushing your teeth and making your bed and all those other. And all of a sudden, what took 40 minutes now takes like 15 minutes, and I can do 20 things instead of 5 things.
Yes, absolutely.
And
No,
then there's a reward. There's a reward. Now I can look at Instagram. Now I can look at my TikTok.
right. Yeah, so like my thing now is like because most of the stuff I do is business wise, work wise is on my phone, which is like really not good because like I get so distracted and like TikTok is the most addicting thing ever. But if I can just like if I like sit myself down and I'm like if I like film and edit these like 15 TikToks right now, then I can scroll for like 30 minutes. And then I do it. And then I'm like, well, if I'm already editing like these like 15 TikToks, like why not do like more and more? And then you just gotta like finish it and then the rest of the week is like easier because like you have all your TikToks kind of like ready to go, ready to post.
Yeah.
Like you're good. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, it took me a long time to come to that conclusion that you just plow through it, like you lean into it, no matter what. Especially if you don't want to do it. I got to do this. This has got to be done. I could do it on Friday and be stressed and make everything harder, or I could just lean in right now, plow through this, go get lunch, and I'm good for 3 days. That sounds far better strategy. And now you're
right.
not doing it out of stress. It's kind of like you remind me of when I used to always have the gas tank on empty. And you put $20 in and it's empty again. You put 20, and it's stressful all the time. Now if the tank is full and you put $20 in,
You're like,
it's the same amount of money with no stress.
exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Exactly. Totally. I agree.
So
Yeah,
once your mindset changes, it seems like that also opens up extra doors too.
absolutely. Like, yeah, no, just like these past few years, like just like becoming an adult, like I feel like I've been like fortunate and lucky enough to just like have a lot more experiences than like other people might have because like I am like kind of like doing things on my own in my own way, like meeting the people I want to meet and like learning what I want to learn versus like being like handed information like in a college setting or whatever. Which is like again, a lot of people I know have that, and I'm like, that's great, but like where I am now and where they are, it's kind of like I'm really grateful that I did have all these like mistakes and like learning opportunities to like come up with things for myself. So like now I can just like keep on going instead of having to like backtrack and be like, ah, like how do I build a routine for myself? Like how do I live on my own? Like how do I do things?
Yeah.
Period. Just
Oh, yeah.
feel like
Growing from mistakes is a profound way to look at things, and it's definitely a mindset that changes a huge dynamic on how you present the next challenge.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like once you learn from one thing, like you can no matter how different these two things are, like you can still transfer that to like the next challenge that you face, no matter what it is. Like
Yeah.
it all
Well, not
like
only that, but you're braver and stronger once you've conquered that first one.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
that next one is obtainable. You could see, almost like you could see over the horizon. You know, I did this once. This may be a little bit bigger of a hill, but I've already done the hill once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's jump right back in. Let's start at the beginning again. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Vinny,
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go back when you were first in dance. The fifth grade, you said?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So like my mom put me and my sister through like sports and dance our whole life, and then I was like, I want to be like me and my best friend are like we want to be like the popular girls because we were not popular. We were nerds. I've always been a nerd, never been cool, especially like in a school setting. um, so we were like, let's be popular. So we started taking dance classes, and then I ended up wanting to dance more, and then I just kept doing it, even though it wasn't cool past fifth grade. Like I just kept doing it. So I did like dance competitions, like Dance Moms type of stuff. But I never was like a soloist. I never got like little special parts, but like I was trying to take like as many classes as I could, get as good as I could get, but like never got like that like featured moment or anything that like everyone else was kind of getting. So I ended up not doing that anymore in high school. And I also, at that time, I had had the great idea that I should come out as bisexual on my main Instagram that my entire family followed without telling them first, which was that was the part they're more upset about. They're like, why would you post that instead of telling us? And I was like, you're right about that. But then I did like theater in high school, which basically led to me getting to do when I was 18, but I was a senior in high school. I got to do a like my first like actual like professional show and like with theater, which was really cool. I didn't get paid because I was a student, and they legally didn't have to pay me because I was a student, and I was like, yeah.
Very frustrating.
But it was okay. But like I was still like I would literally go to school for like half a day, and then I would go to rehearsal or like do a show like 7 days a week. Like
Wow, that's pretty cool, actually. So
it
I have
was
a question. Is that the moment where you were hooked?
honestly not really. I don't know what the moment was, but I think like junior year, I was somehow got into this like pre-professional company for theater that my sister also was in because like they were like the people who were running the company were like begging my sister because like she had won all these like theater awards. She had this amazing voice. She was an amazing singer. She was always the lead in every show, all this stuff. And like I just like to dance. I like being in the ensemble and like dancing and being like one of the main dancers. Um, and so like I just decided to audition for the company too. And then they were like, all right, we like you. And I was like, no way. That's crazy. I can't sing. Um, but through that, like the whole thing with the company was like trying to get all of these kids into like college musical theater programs, which are like absolutely like insane to get into. Like they all had to apply for like 20 plus schools, and then the ones that they got into academically they also had to audition for, and for the most part they only had like three choices after that, no matter how good they were at theater or school. So like it was this absolutely insane process, but I was like, I guess I want to do that, but like I kind of want to do dance, which was a little bit smaller task when it comes to school. So I ended up at going to Columbia College because I was, long story, dating a girl, thought we were going to be together forever. She was at DePaul, and so I was like, so if I go to Columbia,
Yeah. Yeah, Columbia
yeah,
no
that
joke. That's a nice school.
Columbia College, not university.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
So I went to fake Columbia, but then there's real Columbia in New York. Like I recently met someone who's just graduated as like a math major from Columbia University. And I was like, yeah, I go to Columbia. And he was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, there's a Columbia here? I didn't know they had a school here. And I was like, no, it's different. There's fake Columbia. You went to real Columbia. Don't worry about the other one. It's art school. Most people drop out, which same.
Did you drop out? Okay.
Pretty much. Technically, I deferred for a year, but I never came back. So
So are you still deferring the payments? Are you still trying to defer to school? Oh, okay.
I don't think so. I have really supportive parents, like financially and stuff. So like they also help me out with a lot of that. So as far
Nice.
as I know, it's been dropped, it's done.
Okay,
Unless they're doing something that they never told me, just in case I go back.
maybe I don't know.
I hope not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but
Well,
yeah.
did they ever do that debt forgiveness thing? I paid off my student loans a couple years ago, so I'm kind of pissed that they were even talking about giving away money. But I hear they were. Did they actually do that? I wonder if they did that.
I'm
The student
honestly not
debt.
sure
I thought they did.
because like I only went for a year and I had like a bunch of scholarships, so like
Okay, so and the
and then same for
scholarships are the best at the beginning too. They wean off as you get further in. So
exactly.
you picked a
Yeah,
good time to mail. Then they probably just paid it off. Your parents probably just paid it off.
yeah, I think so. And then my sister, like she was in Missouri, but like she still got like like in-state tuition and like a ton of scholarships, so she only had to pay 4,000 a year.
Oh wow, that's nothing.
Exactly, which is like insane. So she's like, yeah, of course she's gonna stay there.
Yeah. Never been to Missouri though. I have no idea. Seems like nowhere land.
And she's not even like St. Louis. She's like middle of nowhere, but
Yeah,
it's
so
okay.
I was gonna say that's literally nowhere then.
Like no hate to Missourians, people in Missouri, but no, I visited once during COVID because um I was in Chicago and everything was shut down. I couldn't have like visitors in my dorm. So like I visited my sister and like we went to like I'm not proud of this. It's not a proud moment, but we went to like a frat party in Missouri during like early or like March 2021. Yeah, I don't ever want to go back there.
It was probably the best thing they could. There wasn't a whole lot going on, so
Not at all. Especially like in Chicago, it was just dead. It was
yeah,
crazy.
the big cities were brutal. I talked to someone that said they traveled the world during COVID and everything was open.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. She was like, I went to all these places for like half price and nobody was anywhere. They were begging me to buy stuff. They were begging me to stay places because all the tourist traps were just completely vacant and empty.
There was like, yeah, that was definitely a weird time. Like I feel like especially like 2021 that like it was like a transition period of people being like, do I not?
Yeah, is this gonna be forever?
And then some people are like, ah, fuck it, like I'm just gonna go on vacation, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what she said. She said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to see if they'll take me. And one country did. And then when she left that country, she could go anywhere she wanted. She was fine. And I think she went back and forth like 3 or 4 times. She said it was dirt cheap. The flights were dirt cheap because nobody was on the planes. Um,
oh, yeah,
it
I
was,
guess like yeah, I would fly home from Chicago back to Texas, and like the flights were like, I always had a middle seat empty and but like next to me, and I was like, this is so weird.
yeah, yeah, because normally they're like sardines, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Who
So
knows? Who knows?
yeah.
And Texas was a whole nother animal. I didn't really have to wear a mask at all. Our sheriff said I'm not enforcing masks, so we really didn't have to wear them.
Like I graduated high school in 2020, so most people I knew that I met in Chicago were from like the Midwest and like North and stuff, and so they were all like, "Yeah, so we just did our graduation on Zoom. It sucked." And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy because yeah, we still all 500 something of us were out on that football field together."
You never
No,
get that. You never get that twice. So it's kind of cool that you got to do it.
yeah, so I'm like, you know what, at least it happened and stuff, and like I don't, no one thankfully in that situation like got sick and stuff because we were all like very 17, 18-year olds.
Yeah. Well, kids seem to be okay, anyways. It seemed like the younger you were, the less likely it was gonna really hurt you. Yeah. Who knows, man? Who knows?
But it happened and it was a wild experience, very different than a lot of other people I met. So yeah.
All right. So you get into college. How long does it take you before you're like, I'm gonna have to be a grown up? I'm actually going to have to be a grown up. Not I am a grown up, let's go have fun. It's oh shit, I'm a grown up. I'm technically gonna have to do this. And if I don't do this, I'm eventually gonna have to figure some of this out.
I mean, definitely like so so the person like I moved here for or whatever, they broke up with me March like 2021. And so after that I was like, well shit, that's crazy. But I already had like created like an entire like life for myself here, even during COVID and like in college and stuff. But I also didn't plan on going back to school. And it's also like up to my parents to like still be like, hey, you can do this. Like I had to get their approval for most things. Um, so I had found this other like dance opportunity to do over the summer and this like next year that wasn't school, but it was like still like an everyday type of thing. Um, so I did that. I found that and I like basically like got okay to do that from the people in charge of that and my parents because like there's a whole everyone has to say yes or else it won't work. And then like I had to start applying for a bunch of jobs because when I was in school I had absolutely no time for a job. So over the summer I was working like two jobs and then one like work study type of position where it was like I worked at a front desk at a dance studio, so then I got to take classes every day if I wanted to, which was a lot of classes on top of like all the other stuff I was doing. Um, so once I did that, I was also living in a studio apartment in the like downtown Chicago by myself because I didn't have time to like find a roommate. So that was from like 19 to 20 years old basically. So that was definitely a big like wow, like I'm on my own. Like I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
that's wild.
do
Yeah, because
things.
downtown Chicago's no joke.
Yeah, so thankfully I'm like more north of downtown. Like I'm in like
Nice.
a
Yeah, yeah.
chiller area, which I love so much. And I actually have like three roommates now, which now that I am doing OnlyFans like full time, pretty much, I'm like, damn it, that was bad timing.
Yeah, if only it would have worked the other way, huh?
Yeah, but I've also like I've moved a bunch on my like I've been like my parents helped me out financially and stuff, but like I've moved wait four different times living in Chicago
Oh,
just in the
wow.
past 3 years.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. There's just been so many situations, so many things that have like happened within these like few years that I've been here that have like just not forced me to grow up, but like I've just learned so much and like experienced so much that I'm like, all right, like cool, like what's next? I guess I got this. Yeah, but definitely living alone was a big thing. And I also that summer of 2021 all my friends from college went home for the summer. So I literally had to like restart completely. I had like no friends around. I had like absolutely like no social life anymore because they had all like gone home, left. And I was like, and I ended up like meeting my like two best friends within the same week because we matched on Tinder and we're still like best friends to this day. And like they're roommates. They live down the street from me like right now, which is like insane. But like very lucky. But at first it was just kind of like, oh my God, like there's so much I have to do.
So on that note, how much do you appreciate your parents now?
So much, definitely. But I'm also like really glad that I can manage myself without them or like I don't have to rely on them. Like I know that they're there to help me when I need it and like they're willing to do that. But like I also don't have to like rely on them and put my full weight on them and be like, please do everything for me. Like, let me come home all the time. Like, do all this. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, no one wants to have to rely on somebody.
yeah. And I
But
definitely like with this like OnlyFans and like dancing and all of this stuff. Like, I want to be able to like actually like my like end goal is to like completely be able to like financially support myself so that they don't have to worry about that. And in the end, it's like we just can have like a normal, like a nice trusting relationship that's not like no financial like
yeah,
power struggle, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because 2020 is tough too, man. Because you're a grown up. And yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like I totally understand where they're coming from and stuff. Like it's like I was literally living at home with them like less than 3 years ago, and now I'm like doing everything on my own, and it's like, wait, that's weird. That never happens. Like most people still like go to college for 4 years,
And then
maybe
go
multiple.
home for a couple of years before they
Yeah.
really get on their feet.
And like I'm right now, I'm trying to like do that, I guess, without that like whole college part. Like I feel like I skipped that like chunk of my life, which isn't good or bad. It just happened.
I think it's actually more good than bad because it's not like you couldn't go back. You know, as
Exactly.
long
And
as someone pays that off, as long as they got paid off, you can go
exactly.
back. Yeah.
Like eventually, like later in life, because one of my main like pursuits right now is dance because I am young. In a few years, like 10 years from now, like I'm physically not going to be able to dance the way I can now just because like my body's going to deteriorate quicker because I am dancing. And if I continue to do that, it's going to keep doing that. Um, so like there is this like time limit on how long I can be a professional dancer. Like knowing that and knowing that I do have like these other interests that I can kind of like work on the side and like also like make money in the other ways on the side and then like dance right now. Like I know that like later in life when dance can't be at like the forefront, like I can go back to school, I can like
Yeah. No, that
other
sounds like a pretty reasonable balance. It really sounds like a reasonable balance,
yeah,
especially with the opportunity you have.
exactly.
You got a big city. Your parents are always a fallback. You are making enough money to take care of things. I
Yeah,
don't see it. I don't see a second opportunity 5 or 10 years from now. So
right.
yeah, pretty neat.
No, I'm
Uh,
just like really grateful for where I'm at. So,
yeah, I don't blame you. Well, Vinny, I appreciate it. So where do you see this going?
um, I mean, like hopefully OnlyFans will take me to a point where like maybe I gather some sort of like I don't want to say fame, but like some sort of like recognition for my name in the way on the internet, and then I can also with what I'm making from that take that into sustaining like a dance career and like living the way I want to live and seeing where that takes me because I honestly kind of like to go with the flow.
Have you considered seeing if TikTok can be more of a money generating aspect of the revenue, or
Not really. I've thought about it occasionally, but like not too deeply. I don't love TikTok personally. Like if it wasn't helping me gain so much traction for my OnlyFans, I probably wouldn't even have it right now.
I did notice that there is an uncanny correlation between the two. It's like
Pretty crazy.
it's the perfect venue to bullshit and hang out with people and tell them I'm about to go do this on OnlyFans.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the easiest. There's no easier way. Is there an easier way? Is there
I
any?
I have no clue. And like it was because I already had some sort of following on my TikTok that like I could turn towards the
Yeah,
OnlyFans
yeah,
that
yeah.
it like, worked out. Like yeah, but like there's probably other ways to do it. Like there's like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. I know Twitter's a big one. Twitter and Reddit have always been big ones. And I used to try that when I was on my own, but like
Yeah, Reddit's tough. But
it's
the Snap ones, it's almost like telemarketing. It's a really annoying way to publish your stuff. I think the TikTok's a lot better. Number one, I'm voluntarily watching or listening to you. No one, you're not harassing me. I'm
yeah.
coming to you. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty neat. I would have never saw it coming. Number one, I would have never saw something like TikTok take off. You know, I remember when it was Musically and my daughter was doing her dances. Yeah, yeah,
Like the videos and stuff.
yeah.
I never did those, but like I always thought they were cool. And then yeah. And I got TikTok when it was TikTok, and then that just
Yeah, it blew up so fast. It's crazy. It's unlimited now. It's. I think it's one of the biggest platforms too, right?
like when I was first on it, like one of my first videos, I got like a million views. Like that was insane. But now it's like every day you see multiple videos on like your For You page that have over like 10 million views, and it's like I didn't realize there were that many people on here. But like now there are
Well, there's
that
7 billion people, 8 billion people.
like anyone at any time can go viral now, which is like crazy because I don't think that's definitely not how it used to be.
So I interviewed a comedian. She was, where was she from? Florida, California. I don't remember where she was from, but she ended up in India for a little while on vacation. Went viral in India. Whatever video it was just caught people in India. They lost their minds. I don't know what it was. It was a wild phenomena, and you don't. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to catch.
You really don't.
Everybody has phones. Everybody has phones. You could be living in a shack in India and have a phone. I don't know how they do it. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. No, I'll like sometimes like I used to post like the stupidest stuff and then I like just put my phone down and go to bed and then I wake up and it'd just be like thousands and thousands and thousands of views and I was like,
How?
what? But you never know. But then sometimes like if I put some effort into a video, I check it, nothing, like 100 views. And I was like, well, damn.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, you never know. It's the algorithm or whatever. A
Yeah. And a little bit of luck. You got to sprinkle in a little luck there.
little bit. A little bit. A lot. I don't know.
All right, Vinny. I gotta go get my daughter. I don't know. Yeah, it's been over an hour.
All right.
I appreciate your time. I really thank you. I hope the video makes a little bit of a difference. Who knows? I know the other girl, she really liked being able to tell her story and make it a little bit more personable.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, on that note, go ahead and plug away. Let everybody know where they can find you.
All right. So my TikTok is beef underscore stroganoff. And then if you want to find me on OnlyFans, it's ballerina underscore baby, but not spelled like baby. It's like BBY, like BB. Yeah. And then my Instagram is ballerina underscore stroganoff with an underscore. So it's a mix of the ballerina beef stroganoff.
Before I go, Vinny, you got what's the stroganoff? I meant to ask you at the beginning.
Great question. I don't know. It's been a thing that I've made my usernames. Like my phone has been called that for years, just beef stroganoff because it's funny. It's random.
It's
Why?
so random. Yeah, yeah. So the
But
ballerina with the stroganoff. I'm like, dude,
I have no clue. But also like beef, stroganoff, beef.
okay. Yeah, yeah, we're.
That's another way to spin it if you want to.
Fair
But
enough.
anyway,
All right, Vinny, I appreciate it. I hope you get some good weather up there in Chicago.
all right. Thank you so much.
All right. Talk to
All
you
right.
later.
Bye.